Before I met Alistair, I was at Singapore Chinese Girls' School. That was primary and secondary school. And then after that, I switched to junior college with Alistair at Anglo Chinese School.
I remember starting school and thinking to myself, I'm not gonna date anyone, you know? I wanna focus on my studies and only when I get really mature and then I'll date someone.
I just remembered that he was kind of tall. He was one of the few people that I met who were Chinese but also darker than me. And also had just as unusual name as I did. And yeah, then we ended up in the same class.
Maybe just being who she was, I just really found Dill very attractive. I think she was just someone who seemed very kind and very real.
In the beginning of a relationship, we met in a prayer group and we developed a lot in a prayer group. And so making a decision to when was the right time to pursue intentional dating, we prayed a lot about it and sort of with the view that if this is something God wanted for us, He would make it happen. And this was before we even knew there might be a long distance, that we might be in a different country together. After we graduated from junior college, Alistair was in the military in Singapore for 2 years. I had known almost a year before that if we were going to keep dating, he would be in national service and I would be away in school. And so I was dreading it for a long time. It was tough, but I think it was a little bit easier for me because I was in school and I was learning things and I was meeting new people. But he was stuck in a camp with the same few guys and feeling like, wow, my girlfriend is far away starting school and I'm stuck here. So that was hard. That was hard feeling for him, but then also moving on and kind of negotiating the two different stages of life, I guess.
So I knew that in 2010 I would be coming to Boston. I think that was the one thing that made it much easier. Obviously, I really looked forward to seeing her in the holidays when she came back from the US. But I was really at the time looking forward to, you know what, this is really terrible and I hate it, but I know that we will be, reunited eventually. Having
the physical distance was really difficult because you can't just, jump on a bus, jump into a cab. It was, just waiting until summer, waiting until winter break, and sort of looking forward to those things. So it was hard to live for the times we're together, but then also live within the moment in school and just be happy, learning and meeting new people when the rest of your life or the rest of a major part of me is so far away.
I think for the longest time in our relationship, we always thought and knew that marriage would be some kind of eventuality. Just timing was a big issue. Initially, I thought, yeah, let's get married and I'll propose once I get my first paycheck or something, or once I'm a manager at some firm and I've made it in the world. Then I can prove to her and whoever I'm ready to get married. But as I thought about it more, I just thought, that's so silly. It's actually for her ultimately that I wanted to get married earlier, to say that, hey, I think that our marriage or marrying you, that should be the bedrock, right, of our lives together, not so much a life stage or something. This year actually was huge, where I think I was praying and finally I heard God say, you've been sitting on this for so long, why? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, God.
I think that there's been a lot of seeking God and sort of not really knowing where that's going to be, but just seeking Him and knowing that He's going to lead us somewhere. And now that I look back, He really has brought us through not just a long period of dating together, but just very different phases of life, from being in junior college, from being in national service, starting college, both being in college and getting married.
Of all the amazing things that God has given me, like life experiences, coming to going to the U.S., studying at such a great school, just so many things. Like, yeah, just having her in my life has just been the greatest blessing that He's given me. And even though, yeah, I can sometimes take that for granted, I think, and I take that for granted a lot. Yeah, I just pray and hope and want to live out that for the rest of our